Hi, and welcome to Play Bass Guitar in One Day with me, Dave Dixon. On this programme, we're going to look at everything that you need to know to start playing right away. You don't need any previous musical experience and you don't need to read music. We're going to do it all the simple way. Well, if you're ready, let's move on to the first lesson. Let's have a look at some of the equipment you'll need to start playing the bass guitar. Most importantly, of course, you'll need a bass. You'll also need a strap so that the bass will hang comfortably, whether you're sitting or standing. You'll need an amplifier so you can hear what you're playing on the bass guitar. You'll need a lead to connect the bass guitar to the amplifier. You'll need a plectrum. We use the plectrum to strike the strings on the bass guitar, and most bass players tend to use a fairly stiff, heavy plectrum. And I would highly recommend that you get yourself one of these, an electronic guitar tuner, which will help you tune the bass guitar easily and accurately. If you don't have any of this equipment, go to your local music store and they'll be able to help you out. Let's take a look at the parts that make up the bass guitar. The bass guitar is divided into three main parts. The large wooden area here is known as the body of the guitar. This unit here is known as the neck of the guitar. And at the very top, we have the head of the guitar, or the headstock. On the body of the guitar, we have strap buttons, which hold the strap on securely. We have the bridge unit, where the strings sit at the bottom of the guitar. We have the tone and volume pots, which alter the tone and volume of the bass. We have the pickup, which literally pick up the sound of the strings and transfers that to the amplifier. We have the jack socket, where we plug our lead into to connect the bass to the amplifier. We of course have our strings, which run along the neck. On top of the neck lies the fingerboard, and this is where we press our fingers down to play notes. The thin metal strips running vertically on the fingerboard are called frets. The fret nearest the head of the guitar is the first fret, and then we have the second fret, third fret, fourth fret, and so on. The dots on the fingerboard are known as the dot markers, and these help us map out the fingerboard. Finally, at the top of the fingerboard, we have the top nut, and this is where the strings lie at the top of the guitar. On the headstock, we have the machine heads or tuning heads. We tune the bass guitar using the machine heads by turning them clockwise or anti-clockwise to raise or lower the pitch of each string. Some bass guitars have string guides that guide certain strings into the tuning heads. Before we get started, let's make sure that we're comfortable with the bass. If you're sitting down, make sure you've got your strap on, as this distributes the weight of the bass evenly across the body. You can also rest the bass on your thigh and put your arm across the top of the body to help balance the guitar. If you're standing with the bass guitar, make sure that the guitar isn't too low or too high. You want it at just a nice, comfortable level. Make sure that you have a nice, clean tone coming out of your amplifier and that it isn't too loud. Tuning the bass guitar is one of the most challenging aspects a beginner can face. But don't worry, it does get easier with time and practice. The 4 strings are numbered from 1 to 4, with 1 being the thinnest string and 4 being the thickest string. The strings are also named after the note to which they are tuned. If you don't have an electronic guitar tuner, then get tuned up with me. The first string is known as the G string and is tuned to the note of G. It should sound like this. Use the machine heads to tighten or slacken the G string till you get it in tune. Here's that note again. And again. And once more. The second string is known as the D string, and we tune that string to the note of D. It should sound like this. And again. And again. And once more. The third string is known as the A string and is tuned to the note of A. It should sound like this. And again. And again. And once more. The fourth string is known as the E string and is tuned to the note of E. It should sound like this. And again. And again. And once more. Go over this section as many times as you need to until you are perfectly in tune. When we play notes on the bass, we hold the neck and press our fingers down onto the fingerboard. There are two ways to hold the neck. The classical grip, where the thumb pivots on the back of the neck, or the rock grip, where the thumb comes over the top of the neck. Practice using both grips. When we play notes, we press the strings down onto the fingerboard just behind the fret we are playing, not on top of it. There are two ways in which we can play the strings. The first is fingerstyle. Rest your thumb on top of the pickup, like so, and pluck the strings upwards with your first and second fingers alternately, like this. When you have played a string, allow the finger to rest on the string above it, like this. Obviously, this doesn't apply when you play the E string, as there is no string above it. The second way to play the strings is with a plectrum. Grip the plectrum between your thumb and first finger with the pointed end sticking out, like this. Play the strings using downstrokes and upstrokes. Again, try to use alternate strokes as you play the strings, like this. On this program, I will be using a plectrum, but remember to practice both methods. A bass line is a group of notes played one after another to form the bass part of a song or a piece of music. The first bass line we're going to learn is fairly typical of something that you would hear on a pop or rock song, and sounds like this. And again. This bass line can be repeated as many times as necessary to fit in with the song you're playing along with. Okay, now you try it. Start by playing the 4th string at the 5th fret with your 3rd finger. That's the 4th string at the 5th fret with your 3rd finger. We're going to play this note 8 times. Try that again. 8 times. We're now going to play the 4th string at the 3rd fret with your 1st finger. That's the 4th string at the 3rd fret with our 1st finger. Again, we're going to play this note 8 times. And again, 8 times. Now let's try the next note. We're going to play the 3rd string at the 3rd fret with our 1st finger. That's the 3rd string at the 3rd fret with our 1st finger. Again, this note is played 8 times. Try it again, play the note 8 times. Finally, we're going to play the 3rd string at the 5th fret with our 3rd finger. That's the 3rd string at the 5th fret with our 3rd finger. And again, this note is played 8 times. Okay, try it again. Same note, 8 times. Did you get that? Let's look at the bass line again. We're starting by playing the 4th string at the 5th fret with our 3rd finger. That's the 4th string at the 5th fret with our 3rd finger. And we're playing this note 8 times. Next, we're playing the 4th string at the 3rd fret with our 1st finger. That's the 4th string at the 3rd fret with our 1st finger. Again, play this note 8 times. Next, we're playing the 3rd string at the 3rd fret with our 1st finger. So that's the 3rd string at the 3rd fret with our 1st finger. Again, we're playing the note 8 times. Finally, we're playing the third string at the 5th fret with our third finger. The third string at the 5th fret with our third finger. And we're playing this note 8 times. The complete bass line should sound like this. And one more time. You got that? If you're getting this type of sound, it could mean that you're not pressing your fingers down firmly enough onto the fingerboard. Try to apply enough pressure so that the notes sound nice and clear. Okay, now you're playing bass. The next bass line we're going to learn is fairly typical of something that you would hear on a blues or a rock and roll song. This bass line only has 4 separate notes in it, but we can repeat it as many times as we like. We're going to repeat the sequence 4 times on this example. Here's the bass line. I'm sure you've heard that type of bass line before. Here it is again. Okay, now you try it. We're going to start by playing the 4th string open. That means we don't put any fingers down onto the frets. And we're going to play that note 1 time only. So that's the 4th string open. Try that note again. We're now going to play the 4th string at the 4th fret with our 3rd finger. So that's the 4th string at the 4th fret with our 3rd finger. And again, we're only going to play this note once. And try that again. Now we're going to play the 3rd string at the 2nd fret with our 1st finger. So that's the 3rd string, 2nd fret with our 1st finger. Again, we're only going to play this note once. Try it again. And finally, we're going to play the third string at the 4th fret with our 3rd finger. So that's the 3rd string, 4th fret with our 3rd finger. Again, just play the note once. Try that again. And that's a sequence of 4 notes that we can repeat as many times as we like. Let's go over it again. We're playing the 4th string open. Remember, that means no fingers down on the frets. So the 4th string open. Play that note once. Then play the 4th string at the 4th fret with your 3rd finger. And play this note one time only. We're then playing the 3rd string at the 2nd fret with our 1st finger. That's the 3rd string, the 2nd fret with our 1st finger. Again, we're only playing this note once. And finally, we're playing the 3rd string at the 4th fret with our 3rd finger. So that's the 3rd string at the 4th fret with our 3rd finger. Again, we're only playing the note once. Try these 4 notes very slowly, one after the other. Should sound like this. And again. Try to gradually build up the speed and repeat this sequence of notes as many times as you like. Here's a great exercise for building strength in your fingers. Start by playing the 4th string at the 5th fret with your 1st finger. Then play the 4th string at the 6th fret with your 2nd finger. Then play the 4th string at the 7th fret with your 3rd finger. Finally, play the 4th string at the 8th fret with your pinky. You'll notice that from our starting position, we're just going up 1 fret at a time with each finger. The whole exercise should sound like this. Try to play this exercise on all 4 strings, starting from the 4th string, moving down to the 1st string. You can also play this exercise starting from the 1st string and moving up towards the 4th string. Try playing this exercise going in both directions. These exercises will really help build strength and speed into your playing. You can make these exercises more difficult by moving your starting point lower down the neck where the frets are further apart. Or you can make it a little easier by moving your starting point further up the neck where the frets are closer together. Try to include these exercises as part of your daily practice routine for at least 2 to 3 minutes. When we create or improvise our own bass lines, we generally use groups of notes together called scales. Let's learn a couple of scales now for you to play around with. The first scale we're going to look at is called the blues scale and is used widely in blues, rock and pop music. Start by playing the 4th string with your 1st finger at the 5th fret. Then stretch across and play the 4th string at the 8th fret with your pinky. Keep your other fingers behind your fretting finger down on the fingerboard as support. Now we play the 3rd string with our 1st finger at the 5th fret. Then we play the third string with our second finger at the 6th fret. Then we play the third string with our third finger at the 7th fret. Notice how I'm using my other fingers behind my fretting finger to support it. Now we play the second string with our first finger at the 5th fret. And finally, we play the third string with our third finger at the 7th fret. When we want any of the notes to stop ringing, just simply lift your fretting finger up slightly to kill the sound. So the whole scale should sound like this. And again, very slowly. And one more time. Remember to use up and down strokes off your plectrum. Now, using these notes in different ways, we can create bass lines, like this. The second scale we're going to look at is called the major scale. You may know it as Do Re Mi. The major scale is used in most Western music. It sounds like this. Do you recognize that scale? To play the major scale, start by playing the 4th string with your second finger at the 5th fret. Then, stretch your pinky across and play the 4th string at the 7th fret. Remember to keep the other fingers behind the fretting finger down for support. Then play the 3rd string with your first finger at the 4th fret. Then play the 3rd string with your second finger at the 5th fret. Now play the 3rd string with your pinky at the 7th fret. Remember to keep your other fingers behind your fretting finger to support it. Next, play the 2nd string with your 1st finger at the 4th fret. Then play the 2nd string with your 3rd finger at the 6th fret. Finally, play the 2nd string with your pinky at the 7th fret. The whole scale should sound like this. I'm sure you recognise that scale. Here's the major scale again. Try to make up your own bass lines by rearranging some of the notes, like this. These scales can be played in any key or pitch by moving the shapes up and down the neck. Well, that's just about it from me. I'd like to thank you for joining me on Play Bass Guitar in One Day, and remember, keep on practicing and keep on having fun. Bye for now. Try to practice every day, even if it's only for 10 or 15 minutes. It's far better to do this than it is to practice for 3 hours only on a Sunday. Try to listen to as many bass players as you can and just try to copy what they do. When you're practicing, try to play along with a metronome, or if you can get hold of one, a drum machine, as this will really improve your timing. If any of your friends can play a musical instrument, get together for a jam session or form a band. It's great fun and it will really improve your playing. Check out other tuitional aids and music books at your local store. By using these products, you just can't help but get better.